Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sports Goombahs presents Fantasy Football Wednesday. Now, brought to you by Castle Public Adjusters and by Graph FX Screen Printing and Auto Magic Car Care. Now, here's your host, the legend himself, the world's best handicapper when it comes to fantasy football, who to play and who not to play, Mikey the Wall.
I appreciate that very bold introduction there, Cashy. When it comes to who to play, I have a good gift for that. Not the play times I'm not the best because as I famously mentioned, I think it was David Carr like 2 or 3 weeks ago, my sit of the week, and he prompted to put up 50. But we'll get past that one. The rest of them I usually do nails. So, but yes,
I like to add that we're audio only tonight because, quite frankly, we don't look that good. So you're not.
Speak for yourself. I got a new haircut for this. I was ready to go.
You're looking pretty good.
I got patty. I got the looks. Last week was one thing. We should have gone audio last week. Nobody to see Cash.
Actually, Vic the dog, Vic the Yorkie, he ate the camera.
Yeah,
he chewed the corn, ate the camera, and ran off with it. So now we're just gonna go audio today. So
it was a dog's revenge. Vic's revenge.
It's the information that counts, not the look. Take it away, Mike.
Thank you. As always, you guys can call or text 267-563-2893. We're live, obviously, here, sgshow.net. You can follow us on Twitter, @SportsGoombahs, with your questions. We received a couple start-sits in the past day or so. Someone's asked for some help. He even screenshot his entire lineup and said, what do I do? And that's it. He left it out there for us. He just left it out there for us. We'll get to that when we'll give him a hand later. But, yes, you are listening to the audio-only Week 10 edition. I'm your host, Mikey the Wall, joined, of course, by Pat. Making a triumphant return.
Yes, it's battle of stomach virus last week. Couldn't make it in, but I still listened in on you guys.
He was on a toilet for the full hour, listening to the entire show.
Yeah, just had the iPhone going on Sports Goombahs website, just listening in as I just felt sick to my stomach. But hey.
But he's back and he's ready to lead you guys to victory.
Yeah, we got more great advice.
Even though one of his main guys passed away over the weekend, that'd be Dion Lewis.
Yes, R.I.P. Dion. Sad to see it go. I got 3 leagues going, and you were a part of my team in all 3 of them.
I remember because the week you started him when he was off was one of the saddest I've ever seen you. But we're here for Week 10, and we had some bye weeks this week, 4 of them this week. Atlanta Falcons means no Julio for everyone out there. No Cole Blessing. I don't know if you're going to get out of them. San Diego, not really missing too much. I mean, they already lost at Kenny Allen for the year anyway. And right. San Francisco, you can literally ignore that. It doesn't matter. So basically, there's 3 teams on a bye this week.
Yeah, 49ers. If you have anybody on that team, then you probably
there's somebody out there who's just angry. Like, I was gonna start Blaine Gabbert this week. Nah, the whole roster's up in shambles.
Yeah. Well, they actually beat the Falcons.
They won,
last week, which is pretty sickening. I
can't believe that happened.
What's going on with Atlanta that they can't beat the 49ers?
And the week before that they beat a 1-win Titans team by 3.
They're not a real team. I mean, they're just kind of.
Yeah, if we were doing like a playoff show, that's a team that you would want to stay away. Obviously they still have Julio, who doesn't matter if they win, lose, or what, he puts up his numbers.
Yeah, Julio and Freeman are still
definitely
viable options.
About to mention Freeman, but we'll kick things off, of course, with our quarterbacks as always. I probably should just start at number 2 and go down because we already know number 1. It's Mr. Thomas.
Of course,
it's a GOAT.
And I want to tell the people last week, I texted you before the Washington game. I said Tom Brady is going to break the record.
He said he's going to throw 8 touchdowns.
8 touchdown passes.
What was it? Yeah, 2 minutes in the game, get number 1. He texted me. He said 1 of 8.
Yeah, and actually Dion Lewis, my man Dion Lewis, dropped one, and that was before he got to the Edelman, right? I think after that.
The touchdown?
After Dion Lewis dropped that, he hit Edelman, I think, for a touchdown, but I'm thinking if Dion Lewis catches that touchdown pass, maybe he doesn't go on to get injured. Maybe the whole fantasy world changes.
The cosmic world has changed.
I was so sad about that.
Yeah, and in case apparently we sort of got word that somebody missed a little bit of the opening. We are audio only this weekend. There's a vintage Cashy production we have here going on today. Sorry, Cash, don't throw you under the bus there. So yes, obviously number 1 is Tom Brady. And also again,
the dog's fault.
It was a dog's fault, of course. And also again, if you did miss the beginning, it's 267-563-2893. Any questions? Start, sit, waiver, whatever you got. We're at the Giants this week. I mean, we saw Breeze did them 2 weeks ago. The Giants, when did they play last week? I don't remember exactly. They played the Buccaneers. But again, Buccaneers stink. So, but the Giants' defense stinks. Tom Brady's gonna exploit that. He's probably got some Super Bowl revenge built up for him. So he'll let it out. Number 2, Aaron Rodgers at home against Detroit. Detroit's defense is pretty bad. They're coming off a bye week, but you can game plan for Aaron Rodgers for 2 weeks. If you're not good, it's not going to work out. I mean, Rodgers hasn't been clear cut. He hasn't been like the star.
He's had some pretty disappointing weeks. I mean,
yes, but last week he played better, and he gets at home against Detroit, which is a nice little.
It's a gift.
Yeah, it's a nice little gift, nice little early, Thanksgiving gift. Number 3, Drew Brees. Again, I had him number 2 for 2 weeks in a row, and he's threw 7, and he threw for 3, ran for 1 last week. Brees is a touchdown machine, and he gets Washington, who's not not the greatest, not the worst, and not as bad as I thought they were going to be. But
I thought Brady would do more last week. But,
so obviously he did.
They kind of slowed down.
Yeah, I think they just
after the first half and
they put up 14 real quick, and we thought like, oh man, it's going to be that kind of day. But a rare showing of sympathy from Belichick. He usually just puts pedal to the metal, 4th down shotguns. But no, he didn't do it this week.
Washington had held up a little bit. They never won the game, but they didn't get blown away.
Yeah, Breeze out of the dome. I'm a little worried by that a little bit, but because last time he was out, I don't know if it was the last time he was outside, but the last time he came to the Northeast was against Philadelphia, and he didn't look very good. So hopefully he bounces back and then beats up on Washington. Number 4, Andy Dalton. Coming off his 3 touchdown, the Eifert game. He comes home to face the Texans, which is an awful pass defense. So he's going to have another good game there easily. I'm pretty confident that one.
Yep.
Number 5, Blake Bortles, the number 5 quarterback this week.
Number 5.
He's been really good this year, and he gets Baltimore. Baltimore's pass defense, but it's a good matchup. And Bortles has just been, like I said, it's a team where they're pretty much going to be throwing most of the game, whether they're winning or losing, because it's not like they're going to be up by 21 points, and they're just going to run the clock out. It's not going to happen with them. They're not good enough for that.
Right.
Number 6, Derek Carr at home against Minnesota. Carr has proven that he's a must start every week.
Carr.
I know, that was your point. Week. Carr, yeah, I mean, he's got 2 really good weapons on the outside. I mean, Latavius Murray's questionable with concussion issues, whatever. But as long as he has his 2 receivers, I don't see why Carr's going to slow down at all. Minnesota's defense is good, but they're at home and maybe going to travel. The trip out west, I don't know if that matters at all.
Yeah, they're consistently putting up high points the last 3-4 weeks, whatever. They've always hitting 30 points or whatever, and I don't really see why that would stop.
Yeah, and another team whose defense isn't that good, so they keep themselves in close games where they need to throw the ball. Number 7, Cam Newton at Tennessee. Tennessee's defense actually is good. I said last week they're not surprisingly not as bad as if they as a 1-8 team should be, but Cam Newton, yeah, he is what he is.
He's having a pretty good year though. I mean, statistically, for fantasy-wise.
He's got a lot of rushing touchdowns, which helps.
Yeah, the rushing touchdowns on the goal line. He really screwing Stewart.
Yeah, he is.
His goal line touchdown.
Stewart is the 25 carry guy who always comes to the 5-10 yard line. So all right, you're out. Yep. They get the little pole with the hook and this pull him off stage,
pulling him off to the side, and
then Cam do it himself with that little meatball, whatever his name, Tolbert.
Yeah, Tolbert.
Number 8, Ryan Tannehill at Philadelphia. Eagles defense is not bad. It's really not bad at all this year, but I think they're susceptible to being beat through the air as opposed to on the ground. That's why I do like Tannehill a little bit this week. Number 9, Eli Manning at home against New England. They're going to be throwing the ball mainly because they have nobody back there anyway. So even if they weren't losing, which I think they're going to be, because I think everyone's going to lose to the Patriots. There's no out on the ground game. Like, what, you're going to turn around and give it to Orleans Darkwa all day? Like, is that your game plans for?
No, that's not. Maybe like on the first series, they might try that once or twice, and then
they realize, all right, let's just throw it to Odell. Let's try to Odell.
Yeah.
Apparently, we're going to be getting Cruz back in like 2 weeks. They have a bye next week. Do you
think he's someone that you would target on the waiver wire, or do you think he's kind of not reliable?
I mean, obviously we'll get to the waiver wire receiver. So I wouldn't jump on the guy if he's out there, but. Especially because you have a whole other week instead.
You
don't want to pick him up going into a bye. It wouldn't really make much sense. But he may be hot coming out of the bye. We'll see. I don't know. First game back, who knows what to expect at him? But it's a passing offense in the Giants, so it's something that can be looked at. Number 10, Mr. Patrick Palmer, I have against at Seattle.
Really?
Yeah, I mean the quarterbacks are thin this week. I mean, there's not a lot of good matchups. So I'm looking at other people and a lot of. I don't know. I just think Palmer's good enough to where he can overcome Seattle's defense.
He's been doing it. I mean, he's been playing tough matchups and still putting up points. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he had a good game.
I mean, he's a guy who, against an average defense, is probably a top 7 quarterback. So he only moves down 3 or so spots between bye weeks and the fact that he's playing at Seattle.
Yeah, before we move on, let me ask you real quick. Give me, off the top of your head, top 3 quarterbacks this season in touchdown passes.
Brady.
Right?
I'm assuming Palmer.
Yeah, that's right. That's true, Carson Palmer.
I guess the third would be Breeze. I mean, 8 touchdowns.
Number 3, I don't remember all of them off the top of my head. There's like a tie between a bunch of them. I know Carr was one. I think Eli. They're all tied at 19.
Yes.
Breeze might be in there. But could you imagine if I told you beginning of the year, Brady?
No, I wouldn't have thought that at all.
Obviously, Brady number 1. You're all about that. You knew that.
And even though because you always thought of him as he's probably a better quarterback for a game than he's a quarterback for a fantasy team.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been getting it done.
Even me taking Carson, being about him week 1,
you didn't see that coming.
I never thought, hey, Carson's going to be the second,
number 2
touchdown passes. That just would have been insane. And I'm not going to take credit for that, but I just want to give him credit for what he's done so far.
I think you've given him enough credit to last a lifetime.
I just hope he's listening. Maybe
maybe he'll tweet us in. I don't even know if he has Twitter. Number 11, I have a debut. I mean, this is week 10. He's never showed up here for good reason, and that's Kirk Cousins.
I like it.
Kirk Cousins at home against New Orleans. It's a good matchup against a weak defense.
Very weak defense.
It's just I don't know how good he's going to be. But like I said, with the 3 bye weeks, and I'm just completely ignoring San Francisco. The 3 bye weeks, you're losing Ryan, Luck, and Rivers, who are pretty much for the most part here every week. So that's 3 new guys that I get up here. Kirk Cousins making his debut, number 11. Gets Deshaun. I mean, Deshaun didn't do anything this first week back, which I'm glad because I cut him my fantasy league. I just tired of waiting for him, and I'm glad he didn't do anything. But he's still a weapon out there, and Jordan Reed's like a touchdown machine now. If we did tight ends, I'd put him up there. Yeah,
I like him a lot. I picked him up in one of my leagues, and I'm going to be starting this week, obviously, against the Saints.
Yeah. And number 12, I swear to God, I did not want to put him up here because I'm tired of looking at his name. It's Peyton Manning. He's kind of up here off upside. I know 40-year-olds don't usually have upside, but the chance for him to have a good game is still theoretically there. And I was looking at everybody else. I mean, looking at there wasn't anybody else that really jumped out at me. The Sam Bradfords and the Matt Castles and the Russell Wilsons, and nothing. I didn't like any of their matchups. So that's my top 12 this week.
Okay, we're very similar. A couple switches here and there. Mm-hmm. Number 1, I did not go with Brady.
That's blasphemous.
I've had him down at first, and then I erased his name, and then I went with Aaron Rodgers just because I'm so confident in Aaron Rodgers this week. I feel as though 2 bad weeks, 2 tough matchups. He's going to come into this game. He's really going to want to, prove a point, let everyone know, listen, we're not in trouble. We're still a top team in the NFC, and I'm going to dismantle the Lions this week.
I think I haven't seen lines or anything like that. I know we're not that kind of show, but I mean, I could see them putting up some big numbers this week.
Yeah, I could definitely see him just going nuts, maybe 4, maybe even 5 touchdown passes this week against the Lions D. Number 2, Brady. Can't let him slide too far, obviously. He's a clear-cut MVP candidate.
Not even candidate. He's just the MVP.
Yeah, and New York Giants usually give him a tough time.
Obviously.
Going back to the Super Bowls, and anytime they match up, they just give him a hard time. I think this time Brady will take care of them, considering their defense isn't anywhere where it used to be.
What's the Super Bowl defense?
Right, just not to the same level of defense.
I think a JPP in his mitt back on the field.
I want to watch that game. I think it'll be a fun game to watch. I think there could be a lot of scoring in that game, but I think Brady will get the best of the Giants and put up another great week. Number 3, I have Drew Brees, Washington. Like you said, Brees has been turning it up. The last couple weeks has been good matchups. Is another good matchup this week. He's starting to get into a rhythm with Cooks and with Snead and with Watson, and Ingram's playing great. So I think he continues this with that number 3. Number 4, I got Cam Newton, Tennessee. Like you said, Tennessee isn't as bad as we think they should be. The record, their pass defense actually isn't really that bad. But I think Cam has just been doing everything himself all year, still undefeated. Until he, has a bad game, I'm going to put him in the top 5.
And if 40 lacks in passing yards or touchdowns, he'll always make up for it with like a random touchdown rushing here and there.
Yeah, so I got to keep him in the top 5. Number 5, I got Dalton against Houston. Pretty good matchup for him.
It's a very good matchup.
He's still undefeated. He's, hit Eifert. He got AJ Green. Didn't even do anything last week, and he still had a good game. So I think, AJ could emerge this week and continues Dalton's, great weeks he's had. Number 6, I have Bortles, 1 spot lower than you against Baltimore. they do is throw in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Allen Robinson playing good. Hearns is playing good. Yeldon, he catches balls. I just really like Bortles a lot this week. I'm actually starting him in place of Rivers in one of my leagues.
So it's very convenient bye week.
Yeah, I planned that.
Yeah, Bortles is good. Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah, I kind of looked ahead. I said, oh, this guy played 4. He's playing the Ravens when Rivers on a bye. They're going to pick him up.
I tried doing that in my one league that I have Breeze for because he had a week 11 bye week, so I had to look. I didn't know how people were going to be. I went with Jameis Winston because he was playing the Eagles. I thought the Eagles defense would be bad. Needless to say, Winston's no longer my roster anymore. Yeah. I figured maybe I can get some kind of Cam Newton rookie season out of him.
That's not a bad thought.
I'm still looking for a bye week to replace week 11. I don't know what I'm going to do in 2 weeks.
We'll find
or next week, actually.
We'll figure it out next week. Number 7, I got the Carr against Minnesota. Like you said, he just playing so good. He has weapons out there. Cooper and Crabtree. And he just I just like him. I don't know what about him.
I didn't think he was a franchise guy at all when he got drafted. I thought it would be like, especially and the fact that he went to the Raiders. Yeah, just another Raiders quarterback.
I watched that game last week, and
he's good.
And he just impressed me. He just 4 touchdown passes against the Steelers. Now the Steelers defense isn't a great defense,
especially pass.
They don't give up a lot of touchdowns. They usually give up more field goals. And last week, Carr just kept finding the end zone, and he kept that game tight, even when Ben and Antonio were playing great.
Another guy's obviously not playing this week.
Will was playing good. Yeah, Ben, he's usually in the top 5, top 6, so he's out this week with injury. So you're going to hear these other names coming in. And that's where number 8, I actually have Kirk Cousins a little bit higher than you.
Yeah. We're on the Kirk Cousins train here.
But he's playing New Orleans, and I picked up Mariota last week.
Because you're listening to the show, and I said that my sleeper of the week was Mariota.
Really?
Yeah.
Then touche to you. I didn't actually hear you say that, but I will go back and I will give you credit for that because I picked up Mariota just for the Carson Palmer bye week, and hey, he dropped 42 points. It's starting
to get to the point where I'm starting against New Orleans.
That's what I'm doing this week. I actually picked up Cousins this week off the bye week. And I'm going to start him over Carson against Seattle just because I feel the matchup is so good. And I kind of have a feeling that Seattle Cardinals game could be a little more low scoring than you would think. So I'm just, maybe Carson and, Cousins have a similar game or it's close, but I'm going to take the shot with the New Orleans defense.
There's more chance. You have more shot of a 3-4 touchdown game.
Right. Cousins isn't horrible. And he has Deshaun back, like you said. He has some weapons out there like Jordan Reed that he can get the job done. Number 9, I have Eli against the Patriots. Like you said, they're going to be behind. They're going to be throwing the ball a lot. I'm taking Eli with Odell just to, I think they can get some stats on the board. Number 10, I actually have Ryan Fitzpatrick, Thursday night game versus Buffalo. You didn't mention him in the top 12, but
I wish he didn't mess his finger up or his thumb, whatever, with the ligaments.
Yeah,
because he was a shady good fantasy player.
Right, he's been playing pretty good actually.
Again, another guy with 2 good targets. Decker and Marshall have been really good.
Decker
and a good running back.
Yeah, so they have a lot of opportunity out there with the defense setting up a good field position. I like Fitzpatrick this weekend at Buffalo. Buffalo's defense isn't as great as some people had thought.
There's a lot of high-priced guys out there with Mario Williams and Marcel Darius and all those guys that you would think they could be better, but it's really not that good.
Yeah, there's people putting points up on them, so I think Fitzpatrick can have a pretty good game this week. So I got him at number 10. Number 11, I have Joe Flacco against the Jaguars. I just like the matchup.
It's a good matchup. Yeah. I hate Flacco. It's not really his fault, really. He has especially with Steve Smith gone,
right.
He has no targets.
Right. Anymore. He doesn't have many weapons, but I think he will get some points on the board.
If he's going to do it, it's a good time to do it.
He needs to find Forsett. He needs to find the tight end Gilmore. He needs to find
the Super Bowl winning quarterback right here we're talking about.
Aiken. He needs to find the guy Aiken who's going to be the number 1 receiver now for them. If he can do that against Jacksonville, I think they'll both be throwing the ball a lot, and I think he can get some points, get into the top 12. And then at number 12, you put Peyton Manning here. I have no problem with that. I put Sam Bradford just based off the performance he had last Sunday night. I think he builds on this performance. I think he comes out against.
I did the same thing last week. I snuck Bradford in the latter half. I think 11, 12-ish or something like that last week because the potential. Again, the potential's there. They could go off. It's just.
Yeah, I don't feel great about him. I wouldn't be surprised if he throws 2 picks or 3 picks and look horrible again in the first half.
It's very violent.
I would actually expect that, but I'm gonna hope. Part of me hoping this, and part of me thinks he can do it. He can build on that game against the Cowboys and have a good week.
Yeah, sleeper pick of the week, and also we in regards to what I'm going to start doing now. And I started last week was I'm going to go back to my picks from last week to see how I did on them. So
okay,
my sleeper pick this week is Kirk Cousins. I want to pick somebody. I usually try not to do somebody I already did in my top 12.
This week is kind of
because I want somebody like completely off the radar. But the fact that Kirk Cousins is a top 10 quarterback in both of our minds, pretty much. shows that that's sleeper enough. We don't need it. He's going to have a good game, I think.
Right.
And my bust of the week, I have Russell Wilson against Arizona, just because he hasn't been as – I mean, it's a tough game with probably both quarterbacks, but even if Seattle's defense may be a little better, I just think Palmer's that much better than Wilson, that Wilson won't play as well at all against Arizona.
I agree with that. I'll back your Cousins sleeper, and I'll back your Russell Wilson bust. And I'll add this to it and say that Russell Wilson, we all know he scrambles around a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Arizona defense is good enough to get sacks, to stop him and not allow him to do that. And I think
put a couple shots on him to make him think twice about running.
If he's not doing all that and they're stopping him from running all around and getting those first downs, I think he's not going to have a good game.
Yeah, I mean, and I've been, I guess technically I've been unfairly hard on Russell Wilson through his whole career. So I was never a fan of the guy. I think it was too small. I just think all he does is look to run. But at the same time, to defend him, he has no targets either. He has nobody.
Yeah, Jimmy Graham's not playing.
Yeah, Jimmy Graham's the best target, but I just don't think he knows how to use them, and just nobodies who any quarterback would struggle to succeed. We'll jump into this here. All right, you're on the fantasy show. Hello?
Is he sneezing?
Can't really hear him.
Yeah, we can cut that call. I think somebody's really enjoying the show. I like
Washington,
that.
D.C.
Washington, D.C. Really? Look at that. Must be somebody, Kirk Cousins fan out there.
Hey,
I like that.
Kirk Cousins. Maybe that was Kirk himself.
Maybe it was Kirk. Maybe Kirk was probably slaying some talent there. He was very happy with his placement on the card on the rankings. So
hey, I was hoping it was Carson. I guess I'll take Kirk.
Thanks for the call, Kirk. We appreciate that, and good luck this week. So my last week my sleeper pick was Marcus Mariota, 41.3 points. So I nailed that pick. My bust of the week was Andrew Luck. He had 25.4 points. So I didn't really nail that one. Although, I mean, these days quarterback getting 25 points is kind of it's kind of like average at this point. So that was the recap last week. Waiver wire. One thing really out there would be Landry Jones. If you're a big Steelers fan, think he can come in and do what Roethlisberger does. I mean, I wouldn't start him or really waste a spot on him, but just figured, hey, he is out there technically.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't start him. I mean,
because he's got targets. He does. He's got a really good running back, apparently.
Right.
Or maybe it's a really good system where you can put any running back into.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't start him, but I wouldn't be surprised if he has like a decent game.
But because he's going to be there for at least the next price. Thanks, Cash. I appreciate that. Couldn't keep your hands to yourself over there. All right. Well, no. Whatever you just did, undo whatever you did. There. Thank you very much. All right. Well, hope your ears aren't as sore as mine. We'll get right to the running backs. My top 10 start here. He's been number one for a couple weeks in a row now. Todd Gurley. At home against Chicago. Chicago, as we saw, they're not. Their defense is very good, even against somebody as not very good as Langford. He had a really solid game against them. So I think Gurley's going to do really big things, especially being at home too. Number 2, D'Angelo Williams. I actually had him like number 5 or 6, and I thought that was being like generous last week.
Right.
And he showed me that that was actually underselling him. The guy's really good, and he plays Cleveland, who statistically is number 32.
Worst.
In case you're wondering, that is the worst run defense at home. I think it's a perfect storm of just him going off. I mean, he's a little banged up. Apparently, he's questionable, but I can't see any reason why he wouldn't play. Number 3, Adrian Peterson at Oakland. Again, Oakland's not as bad as we thought they were going to be, but Adrian Peterson has really turned it on where he's going for 100 a game now. So you can trust him, especially with Bridgewater possibly being out. I don't know what's going on with your boy. I don't know if he texted you with any updates on how's he
last
feeling.
Last time I heard, he was snoozing on
the field. he was asleep. So maybe they rely more on Peterson. I don't know. Number 4, Mark Ingram at Washington. Again, Ingram's been good all year. Solid matchup, and I like pretty much anything he's seen. Number 5, DeMarco Murray at home against Miami. Murray he's really good at catching out of the backfield, which I did not expect coming into the season. So he's been, especially with Bradford's penchant for dumping off because he's scared to go downfield. I think he's absolutely petrified to go downfield. I think really can't blame him. If you saw Riley Cooper streaking, are you going to confidently whip a ball down his way. No.
He doesn't have many targets to find down there right now. So.
No, Miles Austin down the seam. I might just dump off to Murray myself. Second, I mean, even if he doesn't get a 100-yard game rushing wise, which Miami's rush defense is not good. I was actually checking numbers on this too, and they were like bottom 5. Really? So it's a good possibility for running, as well as the fact that he'll catch at least maybe 6 balls out of the backfield. Mm-hmm. Number 6, your boy Justin Forsett. Good matchup against Jacksonville at home. That's all I have to say about that, really. I mean, there's not again with the fact that there is no receiving targets anymore. It could get even more catches out of the backfield.
I hope so.
That's where you go. For number 7, Darren McFadden at Tampa Bay. I could not have imagined he'd be as good as he's been since he's been a starter.
Been real good.
He's been really good, 100+ every week. He can still catch balls. He doesn't catch as many now as I expected him to catch on the backfield. Maybe it's just because Castle's more of a downfield guy. Whedon's not, Whedon's more of a pussy than he is.
Yeah. He's been catching some. Like,
yeah,
he's doing most of his work on the ground.
Yeah, but I mean, when what's his name that went down, the running back, the nasty knee injury. Joseph, not Randall. Who's the other guy that got hurt? You know his name. Well, the guy who was.
With the guy that's stealing the underwear, or was that him?
No, Randall was the one who was stealing the underwear. They had another guy who was catching all the passes early in the year. I expected McFadden to be more.
I know you're talking.
Yeah, exactly. It slipped my mind. So, but it doesn't really matter. I thought McFadden would catch more passes, like in his type of role. That didn't exactly happen. Number 9, Lamar Miller. Sorry, it's number 8. Number 8, Lamar Miller at Philly. Philly is a stout run D, but McFadden looked good against him last week. So if they can possibly keep that up, Miller's good. And Miller's great at the backfield. He had another, I think he had like 100-something yards all-purpose last week. It was another great game out of Lamar.
He's playing good.
He is playing good, so thank God. Number 9, Marshawn Lynch. Don't like the matchup at all, but I mean, once you start hearing the rest of the names that are in my top 20, you'll understand why I have Marshawn Lynch still as a running back 1. Number 10, I'll round it out with LeGarrette Blount, and it's by default without having Deion Lewis there anymore. I think LeGarrette Blount. We saw him obviously took the bulk of the carries last week. He had like 30 carries.
Yeah,
he killed it. So he's playing against again. If the same kind of thing happens this week where they get up too much, expect Blount to get pounded.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I'm gonna come in number 1. I've been agreeing with Gurley being number 1 for a couple weeks now, but I had to switch it up a little bit because last week D. Will
he killed
45 points.
He killed it,
and now he's playing Cleveland, like you said, the worst run defense in the league. I'm gonna give D. Will number 1 this week just to switch it up because I think he can continue that with Ben out. They're gonna really rely heavily on him to get some work done.
And it was Lance Dunbar, by the way.
Dunbar.
That's what it was.
That's right.
Yeah, Lance Dunbar.
No reason to remember him. Probably never play again. Number 2, Gurley versus Chicago. I'm not going to drop him farther than that because he keeps playing good this week. He keeps playing good in the past couple weeks, and Chicago's defense, like you said, not that great. I think Gurley can have a good game. Number 3, AP at Oakland. You see what D. Will did against Oakland last week.
Yeah.
He was catching it. He was running it. Played real great. And with Teddy being a little injured, I think he'll play, but I think they'll rely more heavily on him.
I think Teddy's going to play too.
So I think he could have a great game against Oakland. Number 4, I got Forsett, a little bit higher than you against Jacksonville. I think with Steve Smith out, I think they're going to have to rely on Forsett a little bit more. I think he'll catch a couple more balls. Maybe he'll, break off a big run after the catch. We'll see. Number 5, DeMarco Murray against Miami. I feel like we're actually
we're agreeing
real close to this week. Murray's been playing so much better lately.
He has been.
And I feel like he's gaining confidence. I feel like the offensive line is playing better. You've seen Lane Johnson.
Don't listen to the radio because if you listen to the radio, you'd assume that Murray's having the absolute worst season that anyone could ever have in football.
Yeah, ever. And his expectations were so high. And I don't blame people for being angry about it. But you got to look at it.
Yeah, if you look at total yards, and obviously that's what fantasy is. It's total yards.
Right.
Because receiving yards are just as important as rushing yards.
Right.
I mean, he's having a solid year total yards.
Yeah, I mean, and Lane Johnson out the left tackle. He played great last week.
Yeah.
I think that'll help this run game if he continues at the left tackle spot. And the whole offensive line starting to gel a little bit more. Murray's just getting into a little more of a groove the more he gets it. I think, with the whole Eagles offense is looking better. I think when that's going to happen, I think Murray's going to become that guy you thought he would be.
Mm.
Number 6, I have Ingram at Washington. Having a great year. Washington's a great matchup for them. I think he'll have a good game. Number 7, I have Blount. Sorry to say this because I had Deion Lewis, but hey, Blount is now the lead guy, and he's going to get a lot more work. I don't know what James White's going to do. I know a lot of people went after him on the way.
Yeah, he's one of the We'll obviously have more on him in a minute, but yeah, that's another guy. Somebody's got to fill that because obviously Blunt's not a receiver. by any stretch of imagination. So
Right.
somebody's going to have to catch these
But
passes.
can we just assume that White steps in and just does exactly what Deion
No.
Lewis does? I mean, I think Deion
No.
Lewis actually had somewhat talent.
Yeah.
That he,
It's not
just
it's not
replaceable
too
by
much to
anyone.
where it's just flat out plug and play.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I mean, I try to get James.
And,
White
I don't think James White is a big pass catcher. I think when he was in college, it was mainly run. It was 2,000-yard seasons, so it wasn't shifty backfield catches. So
right, and it's just such a shame because
that's where I think Brandon Bolden could come in.
Yeah, I think there's going to be more of a three-headed thing going on there. I don't think that James White's going to come in and beat Deion Lewis or. I think he'll be okay, but I think Blunt will be the main guy getting the touchdowns.
They'll refocus with Blunt.
Okay, so number 8, I have McFadden. Like you said, he has Tampa Bay this week. Great matchup. He's been playing so good lately. He has the threat to catch it, and I don't know what it is. I don't think it's so much as McFadden. It's just the Cowboys' offensive line. It's just a real good line, and I think McFadden's taking advantage. He has the talent. And he's taking advantage of that. Maybe he didn't have that kind of talent around him.
That may be plug and play. You could put anybody there running back because, like I said, that is a really good. I mean, I hate to sit here and talk up the Cowboys, but yeah, that's a really good. That's a really good.
Yeah, because I mean, even before Randall had great games. I mean, and anyone who's been on that line somewhat had a good game. McFadden's just basically benefiting from that, and he has to be a top 10 running back at this point. Number 9, I have Stewart at Tennessee. I think Stewart's getting better. He's getting more carries recently.
He's getting a lot of carries. Is the problem of whether he can finish them. Finish his drives.
Yeah, I know you have him on your team. He hasn't been great this year, but I think he will have a better game this week, considering he's getting that close to that 20 carry mark, and maybe he actually will get a touchdown at the end of the drive, and Cam will steal from him. Number 10, I have James Starks. I put him there because I think today the Packers came out and said James Starks.
They flat out amount, yeah. And I'll obviously mention him in a minute too because. Yeah, I think he's clear cut. It's his job now. He's
been playing pretty good the past couple weeks when he's got his opportunities. And now that the Packers have announced he's the number 1, I think that would only mean he's going to get more opportunities. And with the Lions, defense this week, I don't see
and Lacey's banged up too, so.
Yeah, and he can actually catch the ball pretty well in the backfield. So I don't see why that he won't have a top 10 game this week.
So number 11 going on. Number 11, I have Chris Ivory. For same thing you said, Buffalo's defense isn't really that great. And Ivory's been really good. I mean, I hate to say it. And even last week he didn't have a lot of yards last week, but he did score 2 touchdowns. Right. That's something he can always. He's a bigger guy. He can score at the end zone. Number 12, Doug Martin. Starting to get. Charles Sims really starting to catch up and come in terms of touches for Martin. So Martin is starting to lose that clear cut. Running back 1, high 2 stranglehold. But I think this is a good match for him against Dallas. The Eagles had some good rushes against Dallas last week.
Right.
Number 13 is James Starks. Like I said, he's at home against Detroit. Great matchup, and the clear-cut number 1 now. I mean, last week they handed out some mid-season awards, and Eddie Lacy did get the LVP of the year. So I mean, I think honestly, God, at this point, because of where you drafted me, you're not going to do it. I think you could honestly, you could probably cut the guy.
I'm not going to do it.
I wouldn't do it. I have him too, but he's not. He's not in my dynasty league, unfortunately.
I'm not going to do it. Only Starks get
you never know. But if you look at it in a vacuum and you don't take into account where you drafted him at, you could probably cut the guy. Yeah. Number 14 is Jonathan Stewart. Again, a good matchup against Tennessee, and I think he'll hopefully get one in. Hopefully Cam doesn't sit there and vulture it again. Number 15, as long as he plays, which I do believe he's going to, is Shady McCoy. He had another good game against where the hell they played last week. Although what's the name? Carlos Williams also had a good game. So I was actually hoping LaShawn wasn't going to play because I really want I like Carlos Williams.
Yeah, every time he's had opportunity, Carlos Williams had a great game.
Yeah, every time he plays, he has his good game. Like you said. So with McCoy playing, the Jets. I mean, they technically have still the number 1 run defense in the league or top 3 or something like that. But probably the Jets just played last because last week I know the Jets got ran on too.
Yeah, the Jets are playing
Buffalo
Bills this on Thursday.
No, I'm saying who they played last week. Because last week, yeah. Well, Lamar Miller had 33 points for me. So, I mean, if Lamar Miller gets 33 points, I think Shady McCoy can do something similar to that. Number 16, Latavius Murray at home against Minnesota. He's apparently battling concussion issues. If he plays, like I said, he's a clear-cut number 1 as well. And I always prefer the big, clear number 1s other than these guys who are like, the split. Unfortunately, not unfortunately. Number 17, I have Gio Bernard against Houston. That's basically kind of his matchup. I don't like the situation. I don't like these guys who are just flat out timeshares in the backfield.
I wouldn't like him either. I mean, but Giovanni still gets some points.
Yeah, so I like Murray at number 16 as long as he plays, and I have Gio Bernard at 17 because somebody's going to score against Houston out of those two. Somebody's got to do it. I don't trust Jeremy Hill at all.
You just don't know who's going to be, honestly.
Yeah, and that's again, this is why I don't want to have either of these two anymore. Number 18, Jeremy Langford at St. Louis. I don't know if he can catch out of the backfield. I wasn't sure that's what he could do.
You see the diving catch he made?
But yeah, he can catch out of the backfield. So I love receivers. I love running backs who can catch out of the backfield because it adds so much more fantasy value than look at obviously. Yeah, Deion Lewis wasn't ripping off 100-yard games every week, but he caught the ball, which made him a top 15 running back. So Langford has potential. Granted, it's only for another week or two. Number 19, T.J. Yeldon, again, solid match being against Baltimore. And again, another guy who's a clear-cut guy. I mean, his lines are usually like 22 carries for like 70 yards. They're never pretty. It's because his line's not that great, but he'll get the touches at least. And number 20, weak matchup, but Chris Johnson against Seattle. He's still again another clear-cut guy, number one guy, and I just don't know his matchup. But as a low end number 2, I think it's a solid play, absolutely.
Okay. So number 11, I have Lamar Miller at Philly. He's been playing so good lately, and I think the Philly defense is very good at stopping the run. But Miami doesn't have a lot of weapons. I think
we'll see which one of those bends. I mean, either
somebody's going to put up yards. You know that. So I think Lamar Miller will have a pretty good game. Number 12, I have Lynch at versus Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Arizona defense is real good, but what really do they have, in Seattle? I mean, Lynch is going to get the ball.
Like you say, I mean, Rawls was solid in his replacement, but he's not getting more than 3 carries.
Yeah, so I think Lynch can definitely have a good game and a low. I think it could be a low-scoring game. A lot of running from Seattle.
Safe to say.
Number 13, I have Doug Martin against Dallas. Eagles had a real field day running the ball against Dallas last week. They couldn't stop the run. Sean Lee got injured. Will he play this week?
Shocker.
Who knows? So I think Doug Martin can continue the success he's had so far this season.
It shouldn't even be news when Sean Lee gets hurt anymore. It should just be, hey, big news. Sean Lee's playing this week.
Yeah, he's always getting injured. So I don't know.
He got the bust.
Plays a little too hard or something.
A weak head.
Yeah.
Like a baby's head.
Number 14, we got Latavius Murray versus Minnesota. Like you said earlier, questionable to play with the concussion.
I think he will go.
If he does play, I'm assuming he is going to play, but if he does, I think he got to be out in the top 15. He's been playing so good this year. So I would assume he would win over 100 that game. And I think Minnesota's defense is good, but, I think Murray's good enough to, get some points on the board. Number 15, I have Ivory against Buffalo. I'm just not really happy with Ivory, really, honestly.
No, it's like yards per carry. He was awful last week.
He's been horrible
but
the
two
last
touchdowns
couple weeks,
he made
but he
up
just
for
keeps scoring, because the Jets defense puts him on the red zone or so whatever reason the Jets offense gets.
Because Fitz is moving that ball.
Yeah, the Jets offense gets him down to the goal line, and once he gets to the goal line, he's guaranteed to score. So I'm going to keep starting him, and I'm going to keep him as a in the top 20. But I'm not happy with his production on the ground. Maybe it's all matchup. I don't know. But this week it's another not a great matchup for him. And it's a Thursday night game. I don't like that.
Yeah, Thursday night games.
So I'm not really high on Ivory this week. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a complete bust, but I'm going to put him up there just because I think he can get another touchdown on the goal line. Number 16, I have Giovanni. Like you said, I don't want these guys who split carries. Yeah. But Giovanni's been the better.
Of the two, he's at the higher upside with the fact that he can catch.
He can catch. He's very explosive. You watch him play, he actually looks good. He just needs more opportunity. He's not going to get it. So if I have to keep him at, in the lower half of the 20s.
Well, before they drafted Hill, if we're going into last year, people were drafting Gio at the 3rd round. Like, he was on his own a good running back.
Yeah, he's definitely a potential. Then, Jeremy Hill came and stole the show, and now they're just basically equals with the splitting. So number 17, I have McCoy against the Jets. Like you said, Jets, great defense. McCoy, had a good game. He's starting to play better. Yeah. Thursday night game, don't really like it, but if he's the guy getting
especially when you're battling injury, they said it's a shoulder, so it's not like it's a leg or anything.
Yeah, if he's the main guy over
there. The short week sucks, but
I like him this week, and if it's not him, if it's Carlos Williams, I like him too at 17. Number 18, I had Yeldon at Baltimore. I just think it's a good matchup for him. I think he can catch some balls, maybe get some. He's gonna they give him the ball enough to where he's gonna.
Oh yeah, he'll always get the ball. Concern.
20 carries.
Touches isn't a concern for Yeldon. Just can he do anything with it? Because they said other than the passing game's good, the rushing game's been a little weak.
Yeah, I think it's a good matchup this week, so I threw him in their top 20. Number 19, I have West at Denver. Tough matchup.
Tough matchup. I actually like him, but it's a tough matchup.
But I put him in there just because he catches the ball and he's gonna get the the carries. Someone's gotta make a play over there, in Kansas City. Macklin hasn't been playing too great recently. Kelsey's been a real disappointment, honestly, in my opinion.
Hot start, but yeah.
Yeah, the great game, and he's just been okay. He's not doing anything special. I think West, I think he can, get some points on the board against Denver. And somebody has to if they're gonna, not get blown out.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 20, I have Duke Johnson at Pittsburgh, just because I like
great receiver.
I like what Latavius Murray did last week against Pittsburgh, and I don't think that the Pittsburgh defense is that great at stopping the pass, and that's what Duke Johnson does.
Yeah, so a lot of back 5+ years ago, if your running back was playing against Steelers or against the Ravens, it was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
nowadays when we're starting, we have Blake Bortles is a top 5 quarterback because he's playing Baltimore, and we have these guys going up against the Steelers because it's a good thing now.
Things have changed, so I think Duke Johnson is a sneaky little play. I like him this week.
I like Duke Johnson too. My sleeper pick of the week this week is Matt Jones against New Orleans. I'm not trying to sit here and pick on New Orleans all week, but he's clearly the number 1 guy over Alfred Morris now. He's had more carries each of the last 2 games, and this is a game where you can score, you can get yards against New Orleans. So I like Matt Jones. I don't like Matt Jones really, but I like his matchup. And my bust running back of the week is Eddie Lacy. Not so much obviously it's expected,
right?
But it's just with a good matchup, you're saying, okay, I got Lacy at home. Maybe just don't think about it.
Yeah.
Don't fall into that trap of good matchup, bounce back now.
Yeah, actually, before the news that had Lacy that's going to happen, it'll happen against Detroit.
Yeah, I gave him one last start in my dynasty last week, and I said, all right, that was it. You blew it.
I did the same thing too, and it just
negative 1 point.
So disappointing. So he's
not. I would have been bad. I literally would have been better off leaving the spot empty.
Yeah, exactly. He had like a -1 or something.
Yeah, he did.
So my sleeper of the week, I'm going to go with a guy in the same game on the Lions running back. I'm going to go with Theo Riddick.
Yeah.
He doesn't run for a lot of yards.
He's a good catch out of the backfield.
But he gets like 8 targets a game.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe he can do something with it this week and get
those kind of guys are they're basically wide receivers who just may happen to carry 5 times.
Yeah.
So it's like a little bonus for that. But yeah, kind of with Duke Johnson. Duke Johnson, he puts up numbers of a wide receiver at this point.
Yeah, and then Theo Riddick's a guy that you could most likely find on the waiver wire if you have a guy like Lacy or you have a couple.
No, not Dante. Dante's been starting Theo Riddick for 5 weeks in a row now.
Is that his guy?
No, his team's that bad.
Oh, well, hey.
But somebody out there is starting.
Hey, yeah, I'm starting this week. I mean, my running back situation with Deion Lewis going down, with Eddie Lacy being benched, it's not that good. No. And I actually, while we're on the topic of Lacy and the running backs, I want to throw out a trade that I just made this week because I kind of felt like I had to. I traded Cooks, which has been a lot better recently.
Yeah, he has been.
And he has some good matchups in the playoffs.
I'm a big Cooks guy.
But considering I lost Lewis, Eddie Lacy is now benched. I'm looking at my number 1 running back, Ivory, who we just discussed, who has not been that good.
Not number 1.
And he's been just getting touchdowns for points. I traded for Frank Gore. And this was before the Andrew Luck news came out. That Andrew Luck's out for 2 to 6 weeks. I'm hoping
big time frame, by the way.
I'm hoping closer to 2 for Gore's sake. But if you look at Gore's matchups in the playoffs, they're actually very favorable. He plays, Jacksonville.
Oh, the whole division. Yeah, right. The whole division is favorable.
Right. And I'm going to
you see against Jacksonville, you see against Houston, you see against Tennessee. You go, okay, good matchup. So.
Right. So I'm hoping Luck comes back for fantasy playoffs. Do you think I made the right move acquiring Gore and giving up Cooks?
It depends on who else you have receiving. Like I said, I'm a Cooks fan just because I like the offense. I think it's a dangerous offense. I think the chance to go off is there all the time. But if you need a running back, Gore's. I don't think Bradshaw's taking all his carries anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much it was. I didn't have much of a choice. It was either I roll with Theo Riddick the rest of the year, or I kind of give up Cooks and try.
No, see if you're at the point where you have to start Theo Riddick every week, then yeah, that's a solid trade. You can do that. Just it sucks that they're on a bye week this week. I would have tried to hold off a week on that trade, but
well, Cooks is on a bye week next week, so I think that's kind of got the deal done. So
my sleeper pick of the week last week was Shane Vereen, 14.3 points, which is good, and he's a great catch, receiving in the backfield. So he had a solid week. I didn't really exactly nail my sleeper because last week I was very anti-Colts. I was in an anti-Colts mood. So my bus quarterback was Luck, running back was Gore, and my receiver was Hilton. I went across the board.
Really?
Yeah, Gore had 17.2 points. So I'll take the loss on that one.
Yeah, that gave me a little motivation. Like, all right, Gore, I know you can. I know you're not.
It's
dead.
Still there.
You're
and I was against. I was going to mention when we were talking about Charkandrick West. That was against Denver. So
Exactly.
it's possible to do.
Exactly.
On the wire this week, James White and Brandon Bolden. If you want to take flyers, hoping one of them can be the next Deion Lewis, who knows?
Yeah, I think you have to.
Taywon Jones, if you think Latavius Murray may not play, he would be the next in line. Him or Marcel Reese, but I really don't think a fullback's the next in line.
I thought about picking up Reese in my horrible running back situation, but that's
stretching.
Nah,
he needs to be out. And also with D'Angelo being banged up, if for whatever reason he re-aggravates something, can't go, Jordan Todman would be the play to go for Pittsburgh. Little injury updates here. McCoy looks like he's going to play this week. I said Latavius Murray is questionable, but he's probably going to play. Matt Forte practiced today, so he's one step closer. They still say he's that week, but he's doubtful. He's probably going to play. And D'Angelo Williams, he's banged up. He said D'Angelo Williams didn't practice today.
Did not practice?
No, he did not practice today. But they said he's still probably going to go this week. And with that being said, obviously, Cashy, if you want to take us to a quick break so we can make some money, we'll come back and wide receivers.
You got it. We'll be right back.
So what the hell was that thing?
What's that?
When you
that thing over there?
It's death. Yeah.
The phone call came in, right? And I was going to hit the audio button so he could hear us like you heard us the other day. Yeah. And this mic, even though it's off, it picks up the magnet in it. And that's what has the magnet, so it just made it go burst out. And because this was off. And I said, how's that picking it up? But I forgot there's the magnet that gets the draw to it.
Yeah.
But I just figured something out that might be interesting for us. If I plug this phone directly into this speaker from down here, and this becomes a speaker both ways for the phone, then you might be able to hear with the microphone and the person. All I care about is the person on the other side hearing us.
Right.
There's no problem about hearing him.
He did something. I don't know what the hell he did. But he did something. He called me the other day, and I thought it was just him on speakerphone. He's like, "Yeah, I'm calling you through the thing here."
Yeah.
And it
sounded great.
It sounded live. There was no lag or anything. I was like, I don't know what you did that, but
why don't you
try to do it again.
If you are you available like on Sunday afternoon?
I'm watching football, but
well, if I put a game on here, I mean, we come back and we can just maybe we can do like a test run of all these shit and get this thing one shot. You know what I mean? And figure this out so every week it's the same. I don't have to touch nothing.
What do you touch anyway?
Well, I keep trying to invent different ways to make it
Stop
better.
Inventing.
Well, I want to make this. When you told me that people can't hear us on the radio, that's when the guy calls in, you can't hear us talking back. It's like talking to Jeff Brandy's 24/7. You know. By the way, got thrown off. Trent Benny had a fight. He asked me if I could host him on the site with him. People buy this, so he wants to become part of the site on this. I don't know how we can do it.
Let's.
But he's got
a whole alive.
No, he's got following though. That's what I do know. You can take us back in when you want.
And we are back. That being said, we'll get right into the receivers. Try to get this out. I know we're getting a little longer than usual because me and Pat just two little chatterboxes over here. And also, I do want to thank again Kirk Cousins for calling in. I appreciate that. If you missed the first half, Kirk Cousins gave us a call from DC, live from DC. He was excited about his ranking. So
I think the kids were there. The kids were there with her. They were screaming in the background.
Those weren't kids. Don't throw those allegations up that those were not kids.
I hope they weren't kids.
I want to make that very clear.
Was it coming from the living room?
It was probably from the bedroom, I think.
Yeah, I hope they weren't kids.
My receiver number one this week, Odell Beckham against the Patriots. It's a good matchup because they're going to be throwing the ball. And there may not be a lot of targets out there, but there's one that matters. That's Odell. He'll get a lot of catches. He's had back-to-back monster games.
Yeah.
Number two, DeAndre Hopkins at Cincinnati. I'm a huge Hopkins guy. I'm always going to be a huge Hopkins guy. Great season. Third in the league in receiving.
I screwed up not taking him.
Everyone did. He fell to the third and fourth and fifth and all that. Number three receiver, A.J. Green. I like him at home against Houston this week. Again, a good matchup at home against Houston. Andy Dalton, I don't think he's going to be slowing down anytime soon. Hopefully it doesn't go to Eifert this week, though. I was a little upset. A.J. wasn't getting those goal line looks.
Yeah, I didn't get much points from A.J. last week. Yeah. Eifert just stole it.
So the odds of Eifert catching, the odds of Dalton throwing 3 touchdowns is pretty strong. The odds of Eifert catching all 3 again, not as strong. So I'll take my chance with A.J. Number 4, Demaryius against Kansas City. He's at home. He is playing the top 5 receiver, despite the fact that his quarterback's a top 27 receiver quarterback. But Demaryius keeps getting his points every week, so you can keep riding with Demaryius and feel confident. Obviously, he's a top flight receiver. Number 5, Randall Cobb showed that he is still alive. I think last week I had him as low as like 18. I mean, he was starting to fall off, but he came back last week, had a good week, and he's got a good matchup. He's got Aaron Rodgers. So that's a recipe for success. Number 6, Allen Robinson, the newly acquired from my team, Allen Robinson.
Oh, yes.
Just traded him
on one of my teams, and he's been great all year.
Just traded him for Willie Snead and Crabtree. So it was a little 2 for 1. Well, in fairness to the guy,
it's not a bad trade.
He was starting Ted Ginn on a weekly basis.
He needed some depth.
He needed another receiver. You can't feel confident with Ted Ginn in your lineup.
I'm actually okay with that, just because
Yeah, it's not a raping.
Allen Robinson isn't like a clear cut number 5 every week.
Yes, if it's not like I have it as number 6 this week.
Right.
But like right below him is Antonio Brown and Alshon. I'll throw him other. But he's clearly not as good as those guys. He just has a really good matchup where he'd normally be in like the 10 range.
I'm actually fine with that. You got better.
And I need excited so many receivers.
You upgraded. You had depth. He didn't. I understand.
So I have on a weekly basis Crabtree, Decker, Diggs, Snead, Devontae Adams, and Dez Bryant. So it's like I have these guys. I can only start 3 of them.
Right.
So instead of having 6 good ones, I went down to 5 good ones, and I upgraded. So I like that trade. Like I said, number 7 though is Antonio Brown against Cleveland. Solid matchup. I don't know Hayden's status. I don't think to look into that. I'm a little worried, obviously, with Roethlisberger being out, but it's not like it's Michael Vick. If it was Michael Vick, I'd have Antonio Brown, 54th. Number 8, I have Alshon Jeffrey at St. Louis. Tough matchup with St. Louis's D. They are good, but Alshon he's a workhorse. He gets every look, and he should because he's that good. I had a 100-yard game. Number 9, Julian Edelman against the Giants. I mean, I don't need to go into any detail about Julian Edelman. He's going to get 7, 8 catches, maybe sneak one in the end zone. And number 10, Dez Bryant. He had a good week last week, although he completely ran out of gas in the fourth quarter. But he had 100 yards. He had a touchdown.
Lucky
touchdown. Yeah, it was lucky, but you know what? Touchdown's a touchdown.
Yeah.
Lucky ones are still worth 6 points. And so it's at Tampa Bay. Good matchup. So I like this week, number 10.
Okay. I have number 1. I'm going to go Randall Cobb this week, number 1. I mean, he's on my team, and he hasn't had a great year, but he showed me a little bit last week. And like I said, Aaron Rodgers, I have him at number 1, and I think Cobb is going to be the reason why.
All in.
Yeah, I'm going all in with the Packers this week. I think Cobb has a great game. One of these.
He should.
2 touchdown games, 100 yards. I think that was a great week. Number 2, I have ODB against the Patriots. I think Eli's going to be throwing the ball a lot. Yeah. They're going to be losing. ODB's going to have a big game for them to even be close. And I think
it won't be close, but he'll have a big game.
He'll get his. Number 3, I have Hopkins at Cincinnati. Hopkins is just having a great year. Cincinnati's a pretty good defense, but Hopkins has proven all year that it doesn't really matter who he's playing. He's going to get targets. He's going to get yards. He's probably going to score. So number 4, I have Julian Edelman. I think Julian Edelman is going to have a lot better of a year now that Deion Lewis is out. They're going to take some of those targets, some of those quick, throws, check down that Brady likes to do. And, Brady does not go downfield. We always get on Sam
If he
Bradford.
does, it's LaFell.
Yeah, we don't
Gronk.
But he doesn't really do it that often. And we always get on Sam Bradford not going downfield. And I know Brady I guess he has better options. Or he's just so much better at doing it. But
he can. If you can sit, you can do like these 10-yard routes all the time. But if you complete them, it's fine.
Right. Yeah.
Which is what they do. Unfortunately, the Eagles are not completing.
Right. And Edelman is he's the main man that's going to be running these routes, and I think he's going to just continue to have a great year and play better. And this week, I have Allen Robinson against Baltimore. You traded for him. I've been on.
It's a good week to trade for him.
I've been about him all week, all year actually, and
You've been about him all week.
All week.
Way to jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah, it's all week against Baltimore. I'm loving it.
I had him pretty low last week. I actually had Allen Hearns above him, Robinson last week because Robinson was going up against Revis. But
I did not like him.
He had a good weekend, a 100-yard game, and I don't know if he scored or not. But
I don't think so.
But he hit 100 yards and
put him on the bench. This is my league where I went nuts on like 245, so I didn't really need him.
Yeah.
But he didn't have a great match.
If you can have a good game against Revis, you can have a good game against whoever the hell Baltimore's out
I think Allen Robinson,
Jimmy Smith. I don't know who they're corner.
Allen Robinson, him and Bortles might just go crazy this week, so he's definitely top 5. He needs to be in there. Number 6, AJ Green, like you said, he didn't get much looks last Thursday or Tuesday, whatever that.
But just playing the odds, I think he'll have a better one.
And we're kind of looking at it like, all right, AJ Green's going to get the touchdown this week against Houston. Good matchup.
That's my not so bold prediction. AJ Green will score this week.
Yeah. Number 7, Antonio Brown, who went for over 300, I think.
No, it
All
was 285. All total.
He had some rushing over there. I think he had over
He might
300.
have said it's disgusting.
I was
yeah.
during the game. I'm thinking, move over Jerry Rice.
17 for 285.
I really thought he was going to break the record for receiving yards. He just, oh my gosh, he's so good. And it's a shame that Ben got hurt again because when Ben's out, I cannot put Antonio in the top
it's
5.
It's been a night and day difference.
You know, is Hayden playing this game? Probably.
I don't know. I'll look into it.
I mean, it's not a great matchup for Antonio, even though he has Cleveland. You know, but no one can really cover Antonio. But can Landry get him the ball? That's the question.
I think Landry. I'm not saying he looks more towards Bryant, but he looks more towards Bryant than Roethlisberger does. So that may take a little bit away.
Yeah, Antonio and Ben have a special connection. You know, they've been playing together
They're
so
besties.
long.
They're besties.
They're besties, taking selfies. You know, they're just hanging out, eating popcorn.
Joe Hayden did not practice Tuesday. Hello? I didn't get any words on today or anything.
Yeah, hold on one second.
Okay. So, you know, not an okay game. He's not going to do what he did last week without that.
Apparently, we have a phone call. It's when his cousin's checking back in.
I don't know.
Kirk Cousins.
Hello?
Hello. Hey, you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Yeah, what's up?
How you guys doing tonight?
How you doing?
I don't know what's going on with all them noises earlier. I thought that was two guys, and the no visual was intentional.
Oh, no. See, it's a gay joke.
but
Pretty funny there.
I want to actually do a little bit. I called in last week about that Jordan Matthews
I hope you made that trade.
for a Yeldon trade. And I asked about 9 people before you, including Pat, and they all called me idiots and told me not to do it. And I just needed that little push. That I wanted to do it so bad, but I'm never a fan of making trades because I always afraid it's gonna bite me. But after you told me to do it, I said screw it, and he did it.
And he killed it.
He comes out with in my league at like 28 points.
Yeah, you get like 114 and touchdown. So.
But the Lewis going down also hurt me. But
Yeah,
now I have Matthews, I don't have to worry about starting to scoot back.
Yeah, you know what? I did not tell you to do it last week, and part of that was because
you told me not to do it.
No, I told you not to do it, but and you made a good move. I'm not going to say you did it, but now look what happened. Deion Lewis goes down. You don't have Yeldon. You know, you're looking real thin at running back, and I feel there's just so much easier to find a wide receiver.
I'm not real. I mean, I got this. Well, what two? I mean, I'm not thin at running back, but Lewis going down hurts. I got some tough matchups this week. I got Lynch, Chris Johnson, Duke Johnson, Anderson, and
Yeah, the first 3 named are all top 20 guys. So
might be one I'm forgetting, but I'm not sure what two to start. Oh, and I'm hoping Forte, that just somehow Forte just gets hurt again and is out for a year because I picked up Langford last week.
Oh, Jesus, see?
And
okay.
Yeah, you're solid at running back. You have nothing to worry about.
It was a good move.
yeah, so out of those guys, Lynch, Langford, Chris Johnson, Duke Johnson, Anderson, or Hillman, what two do you think I should start this week?
Well, I think it's a clear cut. You would want to go with obviously Lynch as number 1. Other than that, I mean, I had Langford at 18.
Right now, I have Langford in there.
Yeah, I had Langford at 18 and Chris Johnson at 20. Pat had Duke Johnson at 20. So
who's Langford playing this week?
St. Louis.
Well, he's playing the Rams. I missed some of it. Did you guys get the Cooper and your wide receiver rankings yet?
We didn't get the receivers yet. We're gonna be getting that in a minute.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I got Hopkins from Cooper and Matthews, and I don't know if I should start Matthews this week or go with another running back, but I'm thinking go Matthews again. Just ride him.
Yeah, I would definitely go Matthews again this week. He had a good game last week, and his matchup this week it's not like it's tough matchup. So I would go Matthews again for sure.
Okay, and
Can't really go wrong. Cooper Matthews.
I don't know what you were thinking about getting rid of Cooks. I remember at the beginning of the year you were all about him, telling me he's gonna have more points than Cooper and this and that, and
well,
pretty sure we still have that going too.
Well, if you actually, I checked on this bet like I think a week ago, and I think Cooks has actually overtaken Cooper, or if not, it's really close.
I don't think he has.
It's really close if he hasn't. But listen, I needed a running back.
Maybe in your league, I think in your league, Cooks gets 1 point for PPR and Cooper gets a half a point.
Yeah, he does.
Your league.
Wait, I tally up he does, but listen, I made the deal because I need a running back. I don't have all these guys on the waiver wire I could just pick up like your league where you're playing with a bunch of morons. See, I actually have real pros playing, and I'm thin at running back in the free agent, so I had to use my minerals and make a deal and go big or go home. You know what I'm saying? So it might be the wrong move.
Well, one more thing. I want to set the record straight. I'm tired of you getting all this credit week in and week out about Carson Palmer. You drafted him as your backup quarterback and just made a bold, stupid statement week one, and it just happened to work out for you. But
listen,
where's Teddy Bridgewater at?
He's sleeping. He's sleeping.
Yeah, Teddy. Listen, I did take Teddy. I was high on Teddy, but at the same time, I like Carson a lot too. Did I know Carson was going to do this? No, but I did come out and say put him in the starting lineup.
They were 1 and 1A.
I liked them both. I thought they were both going to be great. You know what? It turned out I was only 50% right.
Oh, yeah.
But listen, if you were listening, hey, listen, I really just wanted to wait on I know I can find a quarterback anywhere. Like Mike said, take Mariota last week, and I didn't even hear him say that, but that's exactly what I did. Mariota drops 41. I'm somewhat of a quarterback whisperer, I believe. So I can just find talent anywhere. Like I said, Kirk Cousins, I'm starting him this week over Carson. You're going to see him go crazy.
I trust you when it comes to quarterbacks, Pat.
I just like the quarterback position.
He's a quarterback whisperer.
But I just wanted to check in, guys.
All right, thanks for calling in.
Have a good night.
Thanks for the call.
Quarterback whisperer, Pat on the show. I like that.
Yeah, and apparently you're the trade whisperer because you're
you're
helping these people make great.
I told him, man, Jordan Matthews. I told him because the targets were always there. He was dropping balls left and right. The odds of a professional dropping footballs on a weekly basis.
Right.
It's not. So I mean, thank God again with the overtime, or else his numbers wouldn't have been nearly as sexy.
Yeah. So I think I was at number 7. I had Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
Number 8, I have Demarius against KC. Number 9, I have Brandon Marshall against the Bills. And number 10, I also have Des Bryant against Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm. And 11 through 20, I do have Brandon Marshall against the Bills at number 11. Number 12, Calvin, kind of the forgotten guy, but he's turned it on. Not only turned it on, but he's in the process of turning it on. The switch is halfway up. It's like a dimmer. He's starting to turn it. It's like it's not as bad as it was in the beginning of the year.
No, he's definitely been playing better. I mean, he had a little bit of an injury, but they had to bye, so.
Yeah, he's a little banged up, but he's able to bye, and he expects to play fully. So, he's at Green Bay. Number 13, Jarvis Landry at Philadelphia. Landry's solid, and especially if you're in the league against return yards, he's still back return punt and stuff. So, just need a couple extra points in there. And he gets reverses and handles. He's always good for at least 1 or 2 carries a game too. So
like an Antonio, they use him.
He is, yeah. Number 14, Emmanuel Sanders. He's starting to drop down, but I don't think it's his fault. I think it's the fact that his quarterback stinks. But he's still solid. Number 14 against Kansas City. 15, Mike Crabtree against Minnesota. Crabtree.
You traded him.
I did trade him. Yeah, but I mean, you got to give away something to get something.
Right.
But he's been really good.
Yeah.
It's just because the whole Oakland offense has been really good. I mean, long term, obviously, I think Cooper's the guy. But I think for now, I think Crabtree is he's more consistent. Actually, I can't really say it because Cooper's been really consistent too.
They're both surprising.
They're good too. Yeah, like I said, they're 1 and 1A too. Number 16, I have Mike Evans. Again, he's a lottery ticket. He's hit or miss. You either win it all or you don't win anything.
Yep.
But Mike Evans is against Dallas this week. So as Jordan Matthews had a good game, maybe Evans can do the same thing. Number 17, Brandon Cooks. He's your boy here at Washington. Again, like I said, with Breeze being your quarterback and technically being his top target, I think the potential is always there to go off.
Yep.
Number 18, Stephon Diggs. I mean, I'm praying to Gun Hill isn't his quarterback this week. I think Teddy's going to play, but I think Diggs has earned enough to where he can safely start him on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I like
he's at Oakland. Number 19, Allen Hurns at Baltimore. It's a good matchup, and he's just good. I mean, he scores almost every week now at this point too.
Yep.
And number 20, I do have Jordan Matthews at home against the Dolphins because why not? I had him at number 20 last week. I snuck him in, and he played well, so I'll do it again this week.
Okay, I got number 11. You just said him, Diggs at Oakland. Saw what Antonio did against that secondary. I don't think he's going to do quite like that much, but I think he gave a pretty good game. Number 12, I have Calvin against Green Bay. Calvin just always plays good against Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a stat. I don't know if it was like a touchdown almost every game he plays against them. So I think he's going to have at least 1 touchdown this week. Number 13, Mike Evans against Dallas. The matchup's good. Mike Evans gets a lot of targets. Like you said, he's either boom or bust. I think this week he'll be closer to boom.
Yeah, we wanted to boom.
Yeah, than a bust with that Dallas secondary. Number 14, I have Alshon Jeffrey against St. Louis. Don't like the matchup, but I like the play.
I like the target, so.
Yeah, he gets like 15 targets last week, something crazy. Just how are you not going to get production when you just get thrown the ball that
Even
much?
if you catch half the balls, which would be considered an awful game, it's still 7-8 catches.
I get 100 yards just, getting all those catches. Number 15, I have Sanders. Like you said, he can't drop him out of the top 20 because, he's
still too good.
He still gets targets and he still gets big play, possibility for him.
Well, I think he had the long touchdown. Was he the one that scored the long one?
Yeah.
Like 80-yard touchdown?
Yeah.
Without that, it's an awful game, but actually that's all it takes to have a good game.
Yeah, he has that possibility. He can go deep at any time. Number 16, the guy I traded, Brandon Cooks against Washington, is a great matchup. I didn't want to trade Cooks. I felt like I had to, and I'm hoping.
You don't need to defend yourself.
Hoping it was the right decision. I know these people, they just always love to hate me, but it's fine. Number 17, I have Cooper against Minnesota, having a great year. I have him one spot under Cooks for our listener. If he's listening still, I still like Cooks more. Baltimore, another great matchup. I think both Jacksonville receivers will be top 20 this week.
Yeah.
Either way, they're just going to throw the ball out against Baltimore. Number 19, I have Michael Floyd against Seattle.
It's a different theory there.
It's different. I want to switch
outside the box.
And I'm actually starting Michael Floyd this week in my flex.
So you're kind of talking yourself into it.
I'm trying.
Well, he's not getting Sherman, so that's obviously.
Well, that's part of it. He's not getting Sherman. If you look at Michael Floyd the last 2 or 3
weeks,
been
much better.
He's had like 13 or 14, maybe like a 20-point game. And now I think Arizona came out recently and said he's going to be taking the number 2 spot against.
He's better than John Brown. He's better than John
So
Brown.
I think now he'll get more targets. He's not playing Sherman. I'm just more hope than anything that I'm starting this week and he'll be a top 20 guy. And then number 20, I have Landry against Philadelphia. I just think that he's a weapon out there, and they're probably going to throw the ball a lot. And I think Landry's going to be the one getting the targets.
Sleeper pick of the week, I have Devontae Adams. He came back to life last week. Had a solid game. He had like 18 points. Now he gets Detroit. I think he's going to start completely by snaps and by reps and all that. He was number 2 last week. He played more than James Jones. I think eventually he'll just flat out take the looks, the targets, everything about it, the catches. So that's Devontae Adams this week. My bust of the week obviously wasn't in the top 20 at all. Larry Fitzgerald at Seattle. Tough matchup.
Yes.
Especially with Sherman draped all over you. So I mean, and it's already fits anyway. I don't trust. It's not like he's had a good season, but it's not like he himself. It's not like I'm telling you that Odell Beckham is not going to do anything. I mean, it's more likely that a 34-year-old whatever he's going to do is not going to play well against Seattle. Yeah.
My sleeper, I don't know. I just feel like Nelson Aguilar is going to emerge one of these weeks, and he hasn't been playing.
Yeah, I know. I put him as like a waiver wire pick a couple weeks ago, thinking he was going to start busting out.
I don't know why he didn't play last week, but I'm thinking you're going to play this week.
Look at the rest of the roster. How can you not?
Exactly.
Miles Austin, Josh
Cooper, Austin, Huff. This guy needs to get into the lineup. And when he does, I think he'll finally.
When he finally does, yeah.
I think he'll finally start showing it. I mean, Jordan Matthews can't get every target. The running backs can't get every target. Ertz. I think we need that second receiver. And
say that, but they haven't.
I think he could be the sleeper this week, and I'm really just hoping so because he was our number 1 pick. And then the bust of the week, I'm going to back you. I was thinking it all along. Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
That's why I put Floyd there. I think Floyd has the game, not Fitzgerald against Sherman.
Last week I went. I completely whiffed, like literally a swing and a miss on my sleeper of the week. Only because I didn't think Sammy Watkins was going to play, so I went with Robert Woods. Robert Woods probably went out and put zero points on the board.
Sam Watkins had a great game.
Sam Watkins had a good game. That's the game I expected Woods to have. I didn't think Watkins was going to play with his leg injury. And my bust of the week last week was T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah, you went with the Colts.
Yeah, he had 13.2. For his talent and where you drafted him at, that is technically not a good game. 13 points, but
Hilton is not having a great year,
but it wasn't a full-fledged 0. But on the wire this week, a couple guys out there. Brian Walters from Houston. I mean, he's the new. I'm not putting Wes Welker on my list for that. I'm not putting Wes Welker on the list. Brian Walters is the new.
A lot of people out there picking Wes Welker.
I mean, come on, that's just you're foolish.
That name.
If he played for the Patriots, we may do that, but not for the Rams.
If Edelman got injured
and they signed with, we would all jump and we'd use our priority on that one.
I'm not picking him up.
Dorial Green-Beckham starting to get more looks in Tennessee.
Yeah,
he's not just a red zone guy anymore. I'm hoping he eventually.
He had some good targets last week.
Yeah, I think like 5 for 77.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but he might start playing better. I like that.
Cole Beasley for Dallas. Went over 100 yards last week, and
he had a lot of points last week. But if you look, he hasn't done anything before that. So,
no, I know, but I think Terrence Williams is that he's a no-show on the field anymore. Terrence Williams is a complete no-show.
I kind of want to pick up Beasley, but I just don't. I don't know if I can trust.
No,
him,
that's it. These are all.
But if you need a receiver,
these are all desperation
on
picks.
bye week,
And Devin Funchess caught a touchdown this week. He had like 75 yards. I mean, everyone was drafting him thinking he was going to be this year's Kelvin Benjamin in that role. In that role, didn't happen. But he's obviously the most talented. He's the guys in front of him are Ted Ginn and Jericho Cotchery.
Yeah,
the combined age of 64.
You would assume that he would be the one getting.
Then injury news: Vinny Jackson's questionable. Not sure he's going to play this week. Calvin is probably going to play. Alan Hearns has not been practicing at all this week, but he's questionable. I do think Hearns is going to play, which obviously why I had him as a top 20 guy. That's what we got for you this week. Good luck on the week. You're also welcome for the audio only, so you don't have to see me. I was wearing my Clemson shirt. We're still number one, so I'm gonna keep wearing my Clemson gear while we're number one.
I was actually watching a little bit of the game last week. I was thinking about you. I was
like,
are they gonna win this game? I thought they would play a lot better. It was a close game, though.
It's still Florida State, though.
Yeah, I mean, college is always
it's
close
tough,
up.
but this week's not gonna be.
But you guys pulled it out. That's all that matters.
Playing Syracuse, it's gonna be a blowout this week. And again, thank you to Kirk Cousins for checking in with us. You guys can check back in next week, same time, same place, 8 p.m. Will we have video? I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure if I want you guys to see me anymore. I'm a little embarrassed to have that Robert Woods pick. Pat, thanks for stopping in. Thanks to our callers for calling in. And Cashy, thank you very much for being here.
You got it, man. And don't forget to catch us Monday night, 9 o'clock, the Sports Goombahs Show. Mikey the Wall and the chef to the left, Brendan B. We'll be there ranting, beefing, everything that went on this upcoming weekend. Have a good one. See you next Wednesday night. And remember, if you're not listening to the Mikey the Wall, give his fantasy picks. Should I say it?
Say it.
Guru! He's the fantasy guru. Let me tell you something. This guy is better than anybody. And his crew.
They went for a short, casual send-off.
You can always cut it.
Go. Bye.
All right. Take care.
Man, that's a long show. What happened there?
Well,
I didn't feel like it was that long.
What?
Got a late start, I guess.
It was late. We started 10 minutes late, so
Okay.
it went a little over now. An hour and 10.
It was a good one, though.
Yeah.
Besides
Some kind of laughter.
nobody.
Right, man.